Hello again and welcome. This is Michael Pizzola here, author of the best-selling Handicapping Magic and Pace Makes the Race, creator and inventor of the original online racing form. I'm president and CEO of Post Time Solutions. We're the publishers of Post Time Daily 2.0 and Black Magic, the ultimate handicapper software. And I want to talk with you today, give you a little tutorial and give you some of my thoughts on the automatic selections in the Post Time Daily 2.0. And as a way of a bit of a tutorial, I'll show you how to access those selections. Very, very simple. If you take your mouse and you go up to View, and then you go all the way down here to Post Time Daily Selections and click on it. And by the way, you see there you can also go to a keyboard shortcut, Control plus Shift plus C. You have to hit 3 keys simultaneously. Sometimes it's easier just to click, okay? And we click on that. And what comes up are the Post Time Daily selections. Now, as with any good program, there's several ways to get to it. Again, the menu, the Command-Shift-S. Also, you see this icon up here? It looks like a check mark. And by the way, see, if you hover over any of these, see, this is a way to put notes. This is a way to download. Right here, these are the race selections. So when you click on that, there are the race selections. Now, and we'll zoom in a little bit, there are 4 computer programs, actually 5 if you count the one that makes the composite. There is a computer program devoted to speed, meaning final time speed, not early speed necessarily. Pace, which does incorporate early speed and other pace factors. Form, and let me tell you, it's very difficult to put a numerical value on a horse's form without using some kind of very mechanical method. But it never ceases to amaze me how good a job these post-time daily selections do with giving you a good first view at the race. And then it gives you a composite. And if you'll notice, each of the horses in the race now has a rating. Okay? So it has the rating for speed, pace, form, and class. It's got a composite rating. And next to the composite rating is the morning line. So you can see in this 9 horse, it's got a big old 14. That's a big gap down to the next one, which is a 6. And it's 5-2, the second morning line favorite. So we would expect that to be a short-priced horse. Now, oh, by the way, I should let you know, if you want to, if you're kind of old school, still like to use paper instead of taking a notebook or other computing device to the race book, you can print these selections out. If you go to File and Print Selections, you can print the current race. In other words, if you just want to print this one race, we just print the selections. If you don't want to print the entire past performance, you can print all the races. And let's say you were interested in the first race at Aqueduct and, I don't know, the 4th race at Gulfstream and the first race at Santa Anita. If you go back up here to File and Print Selections, you'll see now you can then just print the check-marked races. And you'll click on that, and you'll get your usual Windows print menu. And you can just tell the printer to print, and it will go ahead and print that, and so forth. So that's the way to print out your selections. But there are selections for every race. Obviously, those races in which there's a lot of first-time starters, it's not going to be so great. But it really is a very good starting point, especially when any horse is in the top of one of these categories. Like I'm just looking at this second race at Aqueduct today, and puts the 5 on top and the 6. And again, if I were taking these races apart, I use something called Black Magic, the ultimate handicapping software, and you can see there are all kinds of complicated, not complicated, but very in-depth numbers and odds lines, an odds line, a contention line, and so forth. And so that's when I really want to get into numbers. But I'll tell you what, these selections, for example, in this first race at Aqueduct today, and this is the race from January 1st, 2013. It put this 9-horse on top, and we knew it wasn't going to be much of a price, at 5-2. And then if you look, you'll see that this 9-horse in the first race, January 1st, 2013, won quite comfortably. Okay, at only 6-5, but still, it's a good start. Remember what I said about a horse being on top in one of the categories. I just checked on this, clicked on this Aqueduct second race, and if you look at the post-time daily selections, the 5 has got a very big 15, but morning line favorite 8-5. The 6 has got the second number by quite a bunch. It's got 9 points, and it's 6-1. If you look, it's the 6 horse is top in the speed category, which is interesting, because it could be I don't know, could be overlooked if he's 6-1 in the morning line. And then let's take a look at these results, and you'll see the 6 horse actually went off at almost 8-1 and paid $17.60, with the 5 coming in second. Now, again, it's a starting point. These 2 races, happen to turn out very nicely. It was a $41 exacta there. Daily double was $52. Pretty nice for virtually no work. Now, if you do want to do some work, you can do your classic handicapping using those selections kind of as a starting point. You can use value capping concepts that I teach about, and kind of narrow things down. I was very interested. Let me show you another race. And this was a race from a couple of days ago on December 29th. And by the way, you notice you can just come up here, you click on the calendar. It's very intuitive. There's December 29th. And I believe it was the 3rd race at Turfway Park. Now again, I use in my own work to do the heavy-duty handicapping. I'm going to use Blackmagic Ultimate Handicapping Software. Blackmagic Ultimate Handicapping Software. And, it's looking at the 2 and the 5 horse there at good Blackmagic odds. But let's see what the selections are here. It's the 2, the 8, and the 5. But those numbers are kind of bunched. I guess the 7 is there too. I guess a couple of things caught my eye. This 2 horse is the favorite. The 5 horse was 20-1 morning line. When I looked at the 2 and the 8, this 2 horse, and this was kind of some of the value capping work I did. This 2 horse had a very hard race right after the layoff, between the second back and the top race. See all those one by a head, and then it gets the lead, and then it fights, and it just misses by 3/4 of a length. And then this 8 horse is off a layoff since June. So, my gosh, it wasn't too much, especially if I got a price on that 5, to go back and look at this 5. And then remember I said when the horse is at the top of one of these columns? Well, look at that. The post-time daily selections software rated him as top in form. And again, with Blackmagic Ultimate Handicapper, the same kind of thing. This 2 horse came on top because on cold dope, okay, this 2 horse was great. But notice it was 9-5 morning line, while the 5, who got a little better rating from better numbers, and too much to go into. If you're interested, there's a place on the Post Time Daily website where you can learn all about Blackmagic Ultimate Handicapping Software. It had patterns. It had all kinds of things on this 5. So you're not going to get the same kind of things. But again, it's a wonderful starting point. And let me show you what went on in that race. In that race, the 5 horse just barely did get up to win and paid a magnificent $45.20. I was interested to see that 2 horse went off at 1-2 at odds of 0.50, 50 cents on the dollar. I guess that last race after the layoff did take something out of it. The Indiana horse, the horse that ran in Indiana last time back in June, the 8, wasn't bad. but it was off that layoff, and that 5-horse, just came along and got things off to a good start. And by the way, I posted this on something we call the Wizards Forum. I posted this early on Saturday morning. We share our ideas on Saturday races on the Wizards Forum, which is part of the whole Black Magic Ultimate Handicapping software package. But it was just a very nice thing. If you notice, this race went off later in the morning. I made an advance bet on this because I thought this was just great, and I had my little $30 win bet, and you could do the math on that. But it was just a very nice score. I think many handicapping modalities will have this. One of the keys is that using some of those value capping concepts. But again, looking at the post-time daily selections, they're right on top in the form. He's in that top little cluster on the composite, and the horses on top of him, maybe had some flaws. So I hope this gives you an idea not just of how to access the selections, but a bit of an idea of how to work with them. Again, they're a very, very good starting point for taking a race apart. And it's a good starting point if you use concepts of value capping like anti-value in order to unearth good value investments. So I hope you enjoy that. Until next time, this is Michael Pizzola saying, let the bet make you. And I'll see you soon.